So from one creepy series to the next, but the one that really started the ball for it is, of course, Dark Gathering. Welcome back. We're back, bro. I missed this series, okay? Spooky Sunday. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna have Spooky Sunday we will, because I'm gonna be doing the Summer Hikaru Died every Sunday unless stated otherwise, due to work on Saturday, unfortunately. But it's kind of funny because when watching the episode, right, that I just did, the double reaction and double review not too long ago, watching it and some of the stuff they were showing is similar stuff that I saw in Dark Gathering already. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I could pull some stuff similarities. I didn't mention in the video before, but in terms of like the possession, I mean, that's natural for a lot of horror element stories and everything. But yeah, I did realize, like, oh, there was some stuff that I seen in Dark Gathering that they did do, and I see it in this series. Okay, cool. But nonetheless, we're back, and trust and believe. I read this chapter, and then I went to go watch Hikaru Die, the Summer Hikaru Die. Bro, I was both creeped out, but more so this, because you know why? There was a reason why I was clutching Teddy so many times when it came to this series, bro. Okay, so the last chapter I was left off at months ago, right? We were at chapter 45. And at that time, they were dealing with that very scary granny ghost. And her backstory, from what I can recollect, it was actually very sad. So, like, she had basically death always following her, right? And it took out everybody she loved, right? And it was Shinigami. So the dark figures that you see whenever someone passes and then comes to retrieve their souls is Shinigami, right? So it was following her all her life. It never attacked her. It was everyone around her. So from her parents, right, down to her husband, and then finally her child, right? And she, in her broken state of mind, basically committed with revenge in mind before her death to take out Shinigamis. And how she would go do about that was very creepy, right? So she would make like very, very disgusting looking dolls, baby dolls, and then entrap people's souls. When it's coming close, she would purposely trap people's souls in these fake creepy baby dolls, right? And then this will lure Shinigami to come towards her because they realize, oh, somebody's soul is departed from their body, so now we gotta go retrieve it. She would then eat the Shinigami. So mind you, this whole arc, remember, is going to Kyoto, right, to save Ai from the god who wants to sacrifice her because she's the god's bride. And so her life is on the line. She lost a lot of her family members and everything, including her brother. So the gang, Yayoi, Eri, I believe that's her name, and Kotaru, right? They all said, we're not going to let our friends suffer for this. So their mission was to head to Kyoto to deal with the ice god, right? In the middle of it, they had to station their guards with all these spirits and ghosts that they acquired throughout the entirety of the first season that we saw. But on top of that, we also had body snatchers, body stealers, who are also going to Kyoto. Well, of course, I haven't seen them as of yet, but after the end of season 1, they too are going there for whatever reasons that they have. So going back to from 45 leading up to chapter 46, it was very, because it's like Eri, her soul was snatched, of course, rendering her useless, and Kotaru put himself in harm's way to save her, but he was also trapped. Eventually, Yayoi was able to save the both of them, and also the guy who looks like Yurahara from Bleach, who deals with the supernatural, made a bargain with Yayoi because she did get the book from this priest, this very young priest who's technically a ghost, the Omoji, right? He gave her this book, which is basically the book of life and death. He gave it to her, and that means anybody else that tries to read it, they die. And that's what happened to the guy, Kusakabe, I believe his name is, or Karabara was his name. He tried to, and we haven't in this chapter seen him succeed. But what he did to prevent his death from trying to read and decode the book is that he had a lot of pocket watches to time when the curse was supposed to be in effect, because the only person that's allowed to read from that book is Yayoi. She did manage to save them, and knowing Eri, she, she's yandere, and she doesn't want to be separated from Keiteru, so she took the dolls. And so they may end up using them. This is just like when they were in the tunnel, they were dealing with Cole, the face stealer, and so she made and then she also took one of the ghosts to be her friend. She made ectoplasm, ghost repellents, basically, to absorb any attack if it's inflicted on her or anyone that she cares about, right? So it's something like similar to that, That was basically summarization. So now their final stop to seal off the entire deal is to go to Route I or 1, where they have to deal with this ghost, and there's a tunnel, the route over there, and they found out like what's happening. Of course, Eri, she, and I know I'm probably mispronouncing her name real quick, so we're just gonna do a quick Google search on the character's name. It's either her name is Eri, and I'm probably just really butchering her name at the moment. Like, I remember Yayoi and Keiteru, but I can't remember her name, right? Eiko. The E was right. The E was right. At least I got the first initial right. Eiko. Alright? So while they're there, and they think the last stop that they have to do on their Kyoto trip, it's going to be relatively easy, because if we remember, Keiteru has an affinity towards if he's not able to see the ghosts, but he can feel their presence. And so while they're over by Route 1 or Route I, right? It's Route 1. He's not feeling much of the presence, but the lore behind this place on why it's an attraction, a haunted attraction, if you will, is to come to find out that, like, between, as Eiko is reading up on the lore, she's saying Route 1 between OW station and OT station, rumor has it that there are spiritual things crawling along the border of Shiga and Kyoto. In addition to people experience a pulling sensation, there have been many accidents since I started working on this, excuse me, burp. Since I've been started working on this section, I've been hearing and seeing things. This land is cursed. There are some people who are hospitalized or resigned. And so while they're there, obviously Yoi, if she's not able to see, then there ain't nothing there. If Keiteru can't feel nothing, ain't nothing there. So while they're walking and they're passing by this house, they all heard something along the lines of, "Save me, help me." So they're like, if someone is trapped here, let's go and try and help them, because the entire place, they really can't feel a presence. Like, they can't tell anything is weird. So they kind of trespass into the house, the abandoned house, if you will. And the further they're going along inside the house, they're not really hearing anything. So I can't even hear nothing on my wall all day. It's a sturdy wall, bro. So they're knocking on the walls or anything of that sort, and then they hear like a more hollowed part of the wall. So Yayoi, with her monkey wrench, decides to break down the wall. Of course, Eiko and Keiteru are like, "Gosh, damn, property damage and all that stuff. Jesus Christ, if somebody find out, we gonna get in trouble." But they see where the wall she broke down, there's a staircase leading down to somewhere. Now this reminds me, if anybody has TikTok and you saw this video where there were several young women who was doing vacation at Airbnb, I believe it was in Australia, and in the kitchen there's a removable table that can go back and forth, and behind it is a door. The door was already open, it wasn't locked, and there's staircases going down into the basement, and there's already an inflatable bed with a bed cover. Bro, the way I would have want my money back so quick. First off, I'm not even investigating. Actually, I would. And then I said I want my money back. Why is that door open? Okay, but back to the point. So they all go downstairs, and they start hearing more like, save me, help me. And while they're down there, they see further in, there's a cell, a wooden bar cell. And there is, I will guess you can say it's a deceased priest of old times, right? And he's sitting there, and obviously there's the how you say, barriers around on him, and they're like, whoa, we're hearing you say save me. They think it's someone that was wrongfully chained up and put down there, left down there, and they haven't known peace for a very long time. That's what they think, rightfully so. So they're saying, you know what, because he kept saying save him, let's go and save him. He doesn't feel malicious or anything of that sort. It doesn't feel that scary. So when Keitaro wants to go and reach in, obviously the mummy reacts kind of violently and then tries to attack Keitaro. Yayoi was able to stop him with her squirrel finger puppet and everything, and Keitaro was able to get out the way. Now, what happened was, unfortunately, they kind of broke the seal, right? And then the body, like the haunted body, the actual figure body is still sitting, but there was like a ghost-like version of it that started to crawl and everything. And it's just like, sorry, even though you saved me, sorry. And then obviously when Keitaro feels a very violent, malicious aura happening, like, again, he has an affinity to feel for them, he starts shaking. He's just like, something is very wrong, right? And then obviously a lot of the times, because Keitaro has an affinity, a lot of these times the ghosts and entities or curses usually like to attack him first. So they say, you know what, we need to get out of here because something is not right. Something doesn't feel right. So when they get out, obviously now this notifies a bunch of monks. Now they see in their temples where they had caged up the exact same replica of that mummy, its head fall off, and then the glass barrier that was containing it was shattered. It was broken, and they're like, someone broke the seal. We gotta go now find where it at. So they all run to go and find them, right? And they're terrified because this. And you know what the funny thing is? Initially with the trio going to Route 1, they're thinking, like, even though this might be the easiest one, because they've been dealing with so much since they came to Kyoto, bro. They've been dealing with a whole, from the red dress to the granny. Which other one they've been dealing with? I can't remember. It's been a hot minute. I will have to revisit those chapters. But they've been dealing with a lot since coming to Kyoto. And this is all for Ai, right? So obviously them doing this, initially they're thinking this is going to be easy. Of course, still keep vigilance. But they thought this was going to be a kind of easy task. They didn't know how bad this thing actually is, bruh. They didn't know, alright? So once they manage to come back outside, they see the monk. Monk grabs Keitaro and said, what did you do? They realize, oh brother, we really messed up. We truly messed up. So he's like, you got to, all three of you, you gotta follow me. Because this thing, what you just unleashed, you unleashed hell on earth. And we're all in danger. So, because he asked, like, what do you hear? He said, save me and everything. And he's just like, oh my God, where I can't do nothing. That thing, it marked y'all, right? So he's saying, we got to perform an exorcism immediately. Brought them back to the temple, told them they had to go into the room. They had to call all the other monks, call the highest priest, right? The ones that can deal with this, okay? And he tells them, you go into this room, you can't speak, and pretend you don't hear. He gives them the little, what you call mufflers, the air stoppers, so you can't really hear sound or anything of that sort. So while they're in there and they're preparing and everything, what Yoi says is, give me your phone, Keitaro. And then she's doing something on the phone. And while they're in the room staying and, you know, waiting for commands from the other monks once they're finished with the exorcism or anything, technically they can't exorcise whatever this entity is because of how powerful it is. And so the most they can do is hope to just reseal it. Meaning that, unfortunately, aka, if they can't exercise it, the kids would have been a sacrifice. Yeah. Because it's targeting them. Because they unleashed the seal. Right? So, while they're waiting to hear, and not only that, it's not only going to target them, it's going to target the monks, because it knows that, like, you guys were the ones that sealed me in the first place. So you're going to be my first targets, and then I'm going to go after the kids, the ones who unsealed me, right? So we come to find out about really what this entity is. But before that, we have, well, they're in the room, they can't really speak or anything because they're told they're not to speak. So Yoi is writing on, you know, little notes and everything. She's saying that, like, why? Because she brought remember the kid from the beach? The one with the meatballs? The one that had me feeling sick? I don't think I ate a meatball since then, bro. Have I? I don't think I did. She brought him along. Remember, he's S rank. So she's like, you know, I'm surprised the chief monk did not react to him. So Eiko and Keitaro was like, hold on, you're kind of right. Because if he's the chief monk, why didn't he react to something that strong that was in their grasp? So Yayoi is giving them 3 options. She wrote down, it wasn't much. 2, competent enough to realize he's not a problem and can be ignored for now. And the third one was, he couldn't notice, therefore he's incompetent. And because of that, and then the 4th one, she's like, the chief monk is already possessed. And that's that when they realize, oh nah, the ghost can see an S rank and it doesn't feel scared. They have an S rank ghost in the mix with them to protect them. And you mean to tell me this ghost, this entity, is stronger than S rank? Wasn't phased? That's when they knew, oh no, what we did, bro. What we did, what did we unleash upon the world? What did we do? That's how bad the situation, because you know S ranks are like the most powerful, because they rank the ghosts, curses, entities in this series by how strong they are. A is pretty, you know, like you have the B's and then the A's, those are already strong. But once they start hitting that SS stylish type level, bro, that's when you're dealing with, oh my God, your life is immediately, and like you not even prayers is strong enough to protect you after that. Okay, not even the devil can protect you from this, bro. Like, that's how bad S rank ghosts are. And you mean to tell me what they just unleashed back at that old house that sealed it away? Looked at the S rank ghosts that they have with them to protect them. Was not phased? I would have to make it a deal with something. This ain't right. So when they realize, oh nah, okay, so Yayoi, being smart beforehand to see what's going on, and remember she took Keitaro's phone before they had to go into the room and stay in there till everything, hopefully, or the ordeal was fixed. So she had it on video record, right, to see what's happening with the monks. So while they're in there and they're trying to pray and everything to seal, the youngest one realizes something is wrong. He looks up. All you see is the chief monk's head detached from his body, just hanging. It's there. That was so creepy when I saw that. Thank God I'm reading in broad daylight. Bro, it's already there. It's in the temple. They praying and it said, I'm not faced by your prayer. It took his head out his body. You saw the spinal cord. Everything took over his body. Then all the other monks that was in the room, gone. They're gone. All that's left is their robes. They saw that video and they're like, where the heck is it? Where it go? Right? All they see at the door. Hey, all they see at the door, because Kidro was the first one to know. He looked out the door, he sees a dark thing. I would have started immediately crying, bro. Oh my God. You mean to I just saw someone's head levitating. Their spine. After it done took all the other ones, they came for us. Right? Then it pans to the other monks, the strongest monks, the ones who were students of the ones that originally sealed whatever that thing is. So the lore behind this entity, right? Come to find out was that it was the story was what happened as the eldest monk, the strongest one currently right now, is that the monster was sealed by the head monk a long time ago, and then it was isolated in this temple, in the Menisho temple, right? And at that time, they had a number of monks maintaining that temple to make sure that monster was never ever to see the light of day again. And what happened at the village during that time, many years ago, right, was it's a story that didn't really have much, how you say, actual documentation of the events that happened. But what this monster did do, this creature, and most likely it possessed a lot of people in that village, right? And this village is known as the village that was destroyed in one night. It possessed a lot of people. People were disappearing. He said, you know, something was attacking the villagers. It would have like men doing horrendous things. It's like it will be whispering in their ears to do just horrible stuff. So you'll have like people had lost their way of speaking. They just lost all sense of rationality and everything. So it have like people tormenting, like literally being extremely violent towards each other physically. It would have like where livestock literally was eaten while they're alive in a frenzy, and then like the village was burned to a crisp, right? And then in the mix of it, the person who was recording, not so recording, but telling the story of what happened in their village while they escaped, they saw their son literally shrink. And then whatever it was, that creature returned. And then it most likely took over the shrinking son's body. And then that's when his appearance started to change, right? It took over whoever it was, its son. So they managed to survive to tell the story, right? Whatever happened, of course, because it wasn't documented, nobody knows what really happened afterwards. But eventually the monks was able to capture it and seal it. They couldn't exorcise it. All they could manage to do was seal it. So that means like the one that said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen, was most likely the son, and the son was being used to seal whatever creature it was. But because, you know, Yoyo and them broke the seal, yeah. So now these priests would kind of in a way worship it, because it looks like a, a mummified priest or anything that was held for doing whatever. They managed to seal it in that body, and so they called it both. It was a malevolent god, and they called him Shishimura. So that's what it's called, Shishimura. That malevolent god who was torturing all those villagers and everything, and made them go insane. Excuse me. And they managed to seal it in that mummified body for many years. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the deal with Shishimura. He came out of nowhere, bro. We don't even know. So while they're heading to the temple now, when the other priests were already gone, most likely off the face of the planet, they're going there to deal with it, because currently they are the students of the priest that originally sealed Shishimura many years ago, right? So while they're on the highway driving, a car is approaching them and was about to crash into them. They curved that car but flipped on the side, and then they realized, oh, it's already here, right? And they're prepared to go start doing their prayer. Nope. Truck came behind them. Instant. That felt like a freaking, what do you call it? What's that movie called again? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's the movie with the logs. The movie with that's destination thing. You see what I'm trying to remember, and it doesn't want to remember and everything, and that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like, right? So because of that, and now the highest priests are gone, the kids are now the ones to deal with it. There's no one to protect them. None of the monks. They all died. They were all off the face of the earth. Final destination. That's what it was. That what happened to the monks felt like final destination. That's what it is. That came looking for them. That's what happened. Okay? So while they're all there and they're feeling the presence of Shishimura, right? Shishimura. Typical horror, bro. With its bony fingers, started to open the door, right? What Yayoi said creeped me out, because she's saying that like it was something I heard. Bipedal ghosts maintain the appearance of a human, right? Meaning they're walking on both 2 feet. But it's the ones who have lost their humanity that are the most dangerous. This thing opened it with its front hand. It was crawling on all fours. With the creepiest looking face. Whatever Shishimura is, that thing has no shred of humanity left over. Meaning all the other ghosts and curses they were dealing with had a shred of it. Based on the description that if they can walk on both feet upright, there's still a shred. They're just really wicked, bro. But this, it looked like a cat. You know how cats have this back curve bent up? But this one is just long and creepy and walking on all fours. It did not react to an S-rank ghost that they have in the mix. They just deal with Granny. She was already bad enough. This is supposed to be the final seal before they deal with I's ghost. Why are we here? Why we gotta deal with something walking on all fours, bro? It yanking heads, popping heads like nothing. It's causing final destination moments. It caused people to go berserk, eating raw chicken, shrinking people to the size of a pea. And this is all before Eyes Closed. What will that tell you what we're going to be dealing when it comes to Eyes Closed, bro? Why it look like that? That ain't right. This is why sometimes when you be seeing stuff, you hearing stuff, you walk the other way, bro. This is how you survive, bro. Saying, oh, save me. No, you gotta stay where you at, bro. There's a reason you're there, bro. Now you just unleashed another evil god. And it's not phased by the S-rank ghosts that they got. How they gonna deal with? They don't got nothing enough to deal with this thing, unless they're gonna use the dolls. But even then, that's like how they gonna use it? I don't know how they're gonna get out this one. I really like all the other times. Yeah, like they literally just got out of the situation they were in. And the thing is, Keitaro has the helpings of the yin and yang creatures, but the thing is, I don't think he can use them enough times. Like literally, he just woke up. He just came back into consciousness because they protected him, right, from his soul being consumed and or destroyed. So I don't know how they're going. Oh my god, I don't think they can help him again. And I don't even know if they can. How much times can he use them in a short period of time? We got a creature walking on all fours. I don't know, bro. In all honesty, this ain't right. I literally just came back from. I just literally finished the summer he could have died. Some creepy stuff, and then I had to start back from the OG on this channel. But nonetheless, I really don't know how they're gonna deal with this, bro. This was scary, bro. I don't know. This ain't right. This ain't right, bro. I don't even want to read the next chapter, bro. On me, I really don't want to read that next chapter. But if you guys did read chapter 46 of Dark Gatherer, of course, I don't want no spoilers for future chapters. But if it's your first time or it's your second, third, or whatever repeat time to read this, how do you feel about this chapter? Especially those who probably already read this chapter, how do you feel the first time you read it? Do you feel like this was a very helpless situation because like all alternatives was not, unless they use the book, but I don't know how the book is gonna help them. I don't know. But do tell me your thoughts down below. What series are you guys currently reading and or watching this summer season or even prior to that, and what you're going to continue to read? I would love to read your comments down below. The links are in the description box so you guys go check it out. And I'm Kim-chan, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.